All right, so that's internal. The next one is external. External, again, all the different things you can do outside of the office. I heard some of them already, right? So we can do screenings. Boy, we did a ton of screenings when I was first in practice. I can't even tell you how many we did. How many of you have done spinal screenings before? So, yeah, pretty much the room, right? Even my son Justin raises his hand. He's helped set up and break down before, so that counts. So, do you like them? That's a no. Anybody else want to say? It's okay to say no or yes or kinda, right? Yeah. You like them?
Yeah, I was doing them in Sweden where they were not seen much, and that was just really interesting.
Yeah. So the first time I was introduced to screenings was at WLP. There's a husband and wife in Wakefield at the time, Chris and Jill Halligan. I don't know if you guys remember them. And they were getting ready to do a screening. Now, I had done a screening before, and I hated it. I literally was like, this is the worst experience in my life. I felt like I just was horrible at it. So they were having a screening, and they needed some help. And so I told him I'd come up and help him, and I said, what I'll do is I'll schedule. I hated ask, would you like a free spinal screening? Would you like a free spinal screening? Would you like a free spinal screening? As everybody's walking by. And so I was not comfortable with that at all. And so I decided that I was going to go up and I was going to help them, but all I was going to do was do the scheduling. So Jill's mom was the greeter, phenomenal. She worked at Macy's doing perfume. So, right? Would you like some perfume? Like that, all she did was change words. And she was the best greeter I ever saw, right? So she was the greeter. Chris and Jill were the screeners, and then I would schedule them. So all I had to do is say, would you like morning or afternoon? And then put them into books, right? But what it did is it taught me how to do a screening, and literally no is fine. Like that was the part that I hated. I was asking everybody if they want a free spinal screening, and I got no, and I didn't like that when I first started doing it, right? So then I decided if I'm actually going to have a successful large practice and see as many people as possible, I need to get better at it, and I just forced myself, even though I hated it. But what I did was I did a lot of them. And then when I had more staff, we did them as a staff, and we would do home shows, and we would do every event, we would do every road race, you name it, we were at it. Dr. Karen and I would team up. So the Worcester, the DCU Center would have a home show there. And again, you got to go back 20 years ago, right? Before the internet, 25 years ago, home shows actually had a decent number of people that went to them. They don't anymore. You can look at everything online. There's no reason to go into a home show anymore. So we would go to this home show and we would team up. And the reason we did is because it was Friday night, all day Saturday, most of Sunday. And I couldn't staff all that, and neither could Dr. Karen. So we decided, all right, we're going to do it as a team. It's this direction. So, and it didn't matter who was there. We would just say, would you like free spinal screening? If they wanted to schedule, we'd say we're representing two locations. We have one in Northborough and one in Westborough. Which one works better for you? And that person would choose the location. So there was no conflict of interest, and there was fairly equal distance. So it didn't matter. We would have home shows where we would schedule 45 new patients in a weekend, like over 20 per office. I'm not kidding you. That was the heydays of home shows. But then you saw the decline of the home shows. But what happened is that the decline of the home shows was also the rise of Facebook ads. And so we'll get to that in just a little bit. So, but bottom line is that screenings, talks, what type of talks? Anybody do any outside talks? How do you get those outside talks? And what type of outside talks have you done?
I've done dinner talks.
Dinner talks, yep, that's a good one.
That was big.
Yeah, they would.
Right before COVID, we were hitting again with that.
So that's when our dinner talks peaked as well.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly right. Once COVID hit, nobody went to a dinner talk. But when we first started doing dinner talks, we would schedule 15 to 20 new patients at a dinner talk. We'd have 65 people there, and we'd schedule 15 to 20 new patients at a dinner talk, and then eventually they started to wane, right? So COVID, it went off a cliff. Sorry. What's that? Lunch and Learns. We've done Lunch and Learns for local corporations, right? Exactly right. Business health fairs. I think I can't remember, was it Mary or was it Lisa that said you do these health fairs? Yeah. So Mary.
Chamber, the Christmas ones.
Yes. So you go to those.
Bridgewater State College has a really nice one.
There you go. So business health fairs, networking groups. I heard BNI. So I was in BNI for. I was in practice about a year when they started a BNI chapter here in Westboro. So I joined and I stayed in for a number of years. Then we had our first son, Justin, so I dropped out so that I could be at home more and sleep in a little bit on Tuesday morning, I think. And then I decided to get back into BNI after he was a couple years old, but then we had our second son and then I dropped out again. And then I joined the chamber referral group and stayed in that for probably 5 years. And each one of those was not a big home run. It was one here, a one there. So at times it didn't feel like it was all that beneficial. But what I did was I actually looked back. There was one year that I looked back and I was like, yeah, but look at all the people now. So I've been in it for 5 years. Look at all the people now that are still under care. It's like $40,000, $50,000 a year that I'm bringing in from those people. But it took 5 years to get there, right? So it wasn't like it was an overnight success.
My
But
BNI group now, it's called NGU, Networking Groups of USA.
okay,
It's a lower price point, and a lot of the BNI members have gone to
Yes.
NGU. And I have a great number of people that come into the group.
so there you go.
So it's great.
So again, a great external event, right? Or external networking group. So there's lots of different things that you can do externally.